radio and the host spectrum tonight. Have women elected to positions of power delivered as expected? Women in civil society and those who are active in politics and governance are now laying new strategies to ensure that more women get elected at different levels during the 2016 planned general election. They insist that by getting more numbers in positions of power, they will be able to push for solutions to many challenges that women face, in particular, but also helping transforming the country, given the generally good leadership skills that women have been exhibited in the past. The focus at the moment seems to be restricted to having more women elected to Parliament and district councils, despite earlier indications that women would consider sponsoring a presidential candidate. While many women leaders have contributed to the development of this country already, pundits say that they have failed to come up with a single powerful voice to push the government to act on many issues. The women in Parliament and district council have often taken partisan positions, frustrating motions and debates that would have helped them achieve some targets. The pioneers of the women movement in Uganda are bitter with women MPs who subscribe to the ruling party NRM, accusing them of betraying the cause of women through keeping quiet on keys to democracy. Some have even accused the women of frustrating democracy, considering the position they took at the Chairperson directorate. So now it's not from us, should Uganda support women to take up more positions of power, considering how they have performed in the past? Also, what are the new strategies being put in place to ensure that more women get elected to such positions? Also, why are some women in civil society unhappy about women MPs on the narrative? Our guests, Honorable Rosemary Nyakikongoro, Sheema District Woman, she's an independent. We most welcome her.
Thank you.
Alongside by Ms. Lina, Zedrega, Director of Women's Studies, Women, Peace and Security, Regional Association for Community Initiatives. She's also the Vice Chairperson of the Board of Directors at FORWARD, that's the Forum for Women Democracy. You're most welcome, Lina Zedrega.
Thank you so much, Peter, and good evening, listeners.
How far, Lina, has the women's movement gone in the past 20 years?
Thank you so much, Peter, and thank you, listeners out there. Thank you for enabling us to be able to have this conversation today.
Yes, go ahead.
I apologize. Edmond. I think I'm so used to Peter.
We
are surprising you.
Yes. The church is on that day.
Yes, women have gone so far, and yet we have also had some serious challenges. But before we even expound on the challenge, we want to celebrate from 19 the process of the CA, how women focused and how women made sure that under the 1995 Constitution, we had, among others, very progressive provisions, affirmative action. We are under Article 32 and Article 33. We have continued to make sure at the district level, at the parliamentary and national level, decision-making positions, we have done that. And even in academic positions, we have the 1.5 in terms of the women have actually achieved a lot in Uganda.
Where can we go from here?
In terms of the current, women came together in terms of critically developing our agenda as women. In 2010, we developed an agenda entitled Equal Rights, the Uganda Women's Agenda. We were so ambitious. We had a shopping basket of 11 pillars: democracy and governance, economic empowerment, human rights and law, health, education. It was a 6-year agenda that we engaged, we put together as a demand to the political parties, including the ruling party. Okay? And so we did a review. And of course, we didn't sit in the last 3 national, parliamentary and presidential elections. We had our candidates, we supported them, we did massive training for all district elected positions and also at the national level. And we did yield. Rosemary, here, honorable, is one of the products. Okay? And we have many that we did. Yes. And of course, we are holding we did an accountability. We did a stock taking last year as the women's movement.
What did you find?
We found under the report entitled Reality Check, Women in Leadership Positions in Uganda, we found we still have a long way to go. But we, of course, have some achievements that we can celebrate. In another study, we also, because of the women of the collectiveness of women's position, our strategic positioning, our women's agenda, our demand that beyond affirmative action, we need equal by right to be in decision-making positions at the highest level. Then carried out a study and found that actually Uganda is already well qualified.
Really? Yes. But how did you immediately give her? This is a project. You could not make her.
There is actually, we are now ready for a woman president, and Uganda is actually overdue for a woman president. We have women like Honorable Rebecca Kadaga. In that report, we have people like Honorable Miriam Matembe. We are reading their emails where they scored very highly that yes, we can have these women and we will vote for them. Okay? And not only that, as an alternative agenda, as women of Uganda, we're saying enough is enough. We now need to use our numbers and provide an alternative from the top position, because for us, the personal is political. If we can trailblaze in our homes in terms of decision making with the very meager resources, we are overdue to run this country.
You want to rally the women to vote?
Of course.
Whether it's Betty or your neighbor or Rebecca.
Or the Honorable Rosemary. Or even myself.
It could be your neighbor in the village. Yes. Honorable Nyakikongoro, talk to us about whether you think this is
well, I believe that actually the women's agenda movement has not really failed, as the leader has said, because when you take stock of the women's agenda, at least some of the things have been achieved. I know why a cross-section of women speak about attaining women's agenda. They are looking at specific things. And most specifically, the most bill that women expected to be passed by Parliament, and that is the marriage and divorce bill, which many women were supporting of. But when you look at other things that have been taking place in Parliament and outside Parliament, I believe because of the women's agenda, when you relate to issues of water, issues regarding the health sector, women have tried, and most of these, by the way, have been moved by women. I want to take an example of these protests, for instance. When we were advocating for recruitment of more doctors and more nurses, this was a move that was championed by women parliamentarians. And we achieved it because the government of Uganda took an initiative. Before we passed the budget, you remember that time, before we passed that budget, we needed more recruitment of doctors, and especially in rural health center force and midwives, because we're looking at the issue of maternal care and government. So when we don't look at those nitty-gritty things that actually are contributing to the women's lives, then we defeat ourselves and say, why are we saying that we have not achieved as women of Uganda? To me, I think we should give due to where it is. Particularly, let us not be disappointed by a few bills that have not been passed, especially by this Parliament, and that is more so the marriage and divorce bill, which made people and the entire Parliament, and by the way, the whole country, become mad, as in the bill itself is called. But I want to tell you that when we go sector by sector, you realize that women have attained something. When you go to the education sector, I mean, look at how the performance of girls and boys in the country, it has progressively improved. When you look at the government's effort in terms of constructing schools at sub-country level, much as we don't have, remaining with a few sub-countries in the whole country, like 200, we have so many sub-countries, and each sub-country is supposed to have a school. This is in regard to having less distance for the girl child to access education. And I think clearly this has been pushed, and I believe this is something that we should also celebrate. And now, when you look at the agriculture sector, well, when you look at the current policy that is being shared by the government of Uganda, and which was discussed by the way, because when you talk about the Chairperson resolution, how you can imagine, Edmond.
Please go on.
Edmond, I want to ask you, what are those things that they are telling you that were the Chairperson resolutions that are not actually women, that are not pressing women's agenda? Because when you look at the Chairperson resolutions, which I believe I understood and participated, I was there, much as I'm reading, and was there for a purpose. That's what I talk about it.
That's in Chamba.
Yes, I was there in Chairperson.
To learn how dinner does.
Not how, because I'm part and parcel by the way. I was teasing people when they were saying that you, independent, why did you go to Chairperson? I told them that I left my yellow shirt near the parliament, but in parliament I'm independent. But when I go back to my constituency, actually I'm NRM. Because I stood in the primaries, yes. I stood in primaries as NRM. No, also that I had challenges. And that's why we don't have a flag bearer. I was a flag bearer for Sheema, but because of arrogance, some people, particularly for me, I blame it on a certain group
So it's
of one.
you can't
Yeah. So you are not bringing out those issues of the Chairperson resolutions. Because if you brought them out, I would say people should get to the issues rather than generalizing. Because in Chairperson, issues that were discussed, it was from health, education sector, water, energy, those critical sectors that are actually drivers of development. And in discussing those drivers of development, those sectors that are drivers of development, women were more critically interested in which sector has contributed to the development of women. And things were brought out clearly because we are looking at what government has done, the gaps, and what it has next, where it has performed well. And of course there are women representatives there, and those are some of the issues that were coming out. But unfortunately, the media is selective in terms of what it reports and picks out. That's why they give out pertinent issues and they zero on a few things. I was very, very perturbed by all the medias. Instead of, talking about what was discussed in that, they didn't even talk about the women entrepreneurship fund that we were pushing for in that Chairperson. Yes. And then they portrayed women as if they were just there fighting over petty issues, as if men don't fight, to divert the whole discussion and the resolutions
When did the state manage that fight?
No. But I think that it happened. Why should people, including all the media in this country, both print and radio and name it, leave alone reporting on the good things that were transpiring, and then that is demeaning the efforts of women actually. And I want to tell you, Edmond, that for me, I'm happy about what Parliament has done in terms of promoting the women's agenda, irrespective of the gaps and the challenges that are there. And this would be the time for actually even civil society to come and rally behind women members of Parliament to take stock of what they've been able to achieve, what are the gaps, what are the challenges, so that they keep on pushing together the agenda, the remaining part of the agenda, and ensure that they move together in terms of what we would expect from this agenda. And therefore, I still strongly believe that we have achieved, we have a lot to achieve, and then this business of why can't we come with a woman president? I think we shall discuss that one in detail. Without addressing, let me tell you, Edmond, without addressing issues of, first of all, empowering ourselves as women. And this empowerment is not that we are going to wait for government, but first of all, changing our mindset and saying that yes, we can as women. That when there's this program, how do we get involved in it and become economical empowerment? Rather than saying, no, Lina is the one championing this, and therefore, get aside. This business is not going to help us as women. Therefore, we need first of all to change our mindset and say, how are we going to do A, B, C, D? And that goes with the economic empowerment. You cannot leave this country when you are economically what? Impotent.
Alright. When you don't have the money.
Yes.
So you need a special fund to boost. What kind of?
Of course, like, the youth have been empowered. They have the fund, which I will strongly support it and support that is going to boost the youth. We also need the fund.
Told you, right?
Let me tell you, when you look at the beginners in our communities, those women, they have small enterprises, which do not actually cost a lot. 50,000, 100. They give progressive. No. These couples expect women, by the way. Yes, those social support groups, those are the beginners. Social support groups, they put their funds together and they keep on borrowing from each other. They don't put that interest, which is very high, that has pushed away women, and we have really started from scratch, and we see them paying to this for their children and now, assuming that they were given a fund that is genuine, the fund that would benefit the women, not those small things of 50,000 and what, because they have the power. I believe women in this country will be the drivers of the economy. By the way, we are talking of transiting from subsistence farming to commercial enterprise. When will the woman of this country, the woman from Sheema, transit from subsistence agriculture to commercial agriculture when she doesn't have any single money to push her? We are talking of inputs, we are talking of herbicides, we are talking of fertilizers, we are talking of, irrespective of the acquiring land, because if I don't have land, I can easily hire land somewhere and do business. But without money, much as we are talking about that, without inputs, that woman will not transit from agriculture.
That's something you're going to follow. It might end up in company.
No. By the way, when we are talking about that women's fund, I mean, Kampala women, these are the women that can walk to this bank, bank, they can walk to Nile Bank, they can walk to... Yes. So this fund is to support our rural women, such that they can access the fund, the money. Those women who walk in slippers and fear to go to the bank, that is the fund we are talking about.
Women empowerment.
Exactly. And the moment the woman is economically empowered, that means she's even liberated in terms of thinking. She's even liberated in terms of the way she does her things. She's liberated in terms of choice. She's liberated in terms of leadership.
Right. And you'll still, well, we'll not talk about the women presidency. You might start something. Lina, where do you go from? You say that you cannot use syllable. What are the roadblocks, the bottlenecks that are glass ceilings in workplaces?
Thank you so much, Edmond. When we developed this women's agenda equal by right, 2010 to 2016, Rosemary was by then actually working for us, and she did a lot of this. The change we demanded then, in 2010, among others, was one gender parity, 50 to 50. Our report that was the reality check released last year. By cabinet composition, according to the current executive composition, none of the 6 topmost government executives is a woman. None.
What do you mean?
I mean the president, vice president, prime minister, and all the districts. Okay?
In the line.
I am talking about the current executive composition in that lineage, okay? None. And when we look at the ministers, 9 are women, 19. Yet in 2010 we demanded for 50-50. We are not anywhere around even, the disparity is too much. So, to ask 2010, and then we take stock in 2014, 2. We demanded, the change we wanted to see, among others, was the review of the electoral process with key stakeholders after the 2011, so that women, youth, and persons with disabilities councils were realigned to the multi-party system. To date, we wanted amendment of the Political Parties and Organizations Act 2010 to ensure gender parity. We were demanding for gender parity. How many years? The statistics speak for themselves.
But Lina, let's talk about return on investment. You have had many, you came from very, very close to 30% past. Who have the numbers? Who have the quantities? How we got them?
We are not anywhere in the topmost position. That is something that we really
numbers
will need.
in Parliament. How come you can't get them married and divorced? How come we can't get more people in here? How we got deliveries coming to our
Well, thank you so much that you're talking about the numbers. The challenges these women are facing in Parliament, as women representatives, by the way, stems from the demands that we made in terms of realigning them. By the way, who votes these people in? Who are they accountable to? Not only to women, okay? They are not only accountable to women, and that is why it is a very big challenge for them to remain faithful to the women's cause only. And it is crafted, it's there by choice. That is a very big problem.
You get to discuss that.
You get to Parliament, actually, to which constituency are you? Who elects the women? We were demanding already that it should be aligned, okay? But it is not. We were also demanding that enactment of a code of conduct for political parties and organizations integrating gender-specific ethical issues. We have serious, even during the campaign, women face different challenges. So, we need the numbers. Wow, we will go for that in the next, within this 1 hour. Allow me expound on some of the challenges, why we feel strongly women are really not. We have them, okay, representing a constituency, allegedly the women constituency, but the election, it's not. It's not. So because of it, they have challenges of allegiance. They have challenges of patronage. Okay? They do. These are serious challenges. And we're making demands. Yes? How
would you prefer this to be? What's the idea?
Women should and must be by the women themselves. 1, 2. We also are making propositions that the women seat, that it should actually be, there should also be a man, a district man representative and a district woman representative. So that, yes, parity. Because now there's only one, the woman.
I think actually that would be
a lot.
Well, I guess let's take a break. We'll take it from there, Honorable. This is Spectrum Radio, and this station is
Hi, my name is Rosemary. I'm about to get the biggest a chance to shine. Join them at the Lighthouse Stadium. After right with them, surely you can watch them rise to the top. The ultimate
Join the biggest names in the industry.
Who is your likely victim?
Stars towards greatness. One day, them exclusive
Sam.
Channel 61. Then also follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Maisha Superstar. Log in to Maisha Magic 16.
Where I am running there for, where my mother is born, where my father is born,
NRM ticket.
No.
Independent.
I'm green.
You are DP.
But women first.
But you should sort out the problems at the top. Mao was today attacking his fellow leaders at a press conference. He called the press conference to announce how he had summoned his vice president and how.
Which vice president?
Sebuliba Mutumba.
For what?
That Sebuliba has been running around the country selecting candidates for parliamentary seats. But these are things they can handle inside without calling the media.
I don't accept it. I was
Welcome back on Spectrum Flight. How women elected to positions of power being able to deliver as expected. Our guests, Honorable Rosemary Nyakikongoro. Sheema this woman, she's an independent, even though she is for also Ms. Lina Zedrega, Director of Women Peace and Security, Regional Associate for Community Initiative. She's also Vice Chairperson of the Board of Directors for Democracy. You're the correct. Tell us what you think about this matter. We even ask this question. Honorable Rosemary, can you give us some of the core issues that you think need to be addressed?
Well, I think even the executive, when I talk about has realized that after women are performing this, And that's why we request for more positions that we can bring this country where it be. I always give examples of women that have been performed, and that those women we shall talk about them. Take an example. We cannot leave out our speaker. There's nothing that parliament tremendous. Look at the IDG. She's trying her level best. Look at look at the former and the current are doing tremendous stuff.
Even
look at Mississippi.
She's trying to move slums.
She's doing exactly. Now, whenever you use publicity narrative, as who come from that side, you say, this is Kampala, goes on the stage. But now you cannot even smell that kind of thing. Exactly. So, for me, I believe if women are given the opportunity, they can really serve and they can lead. And by one, Madam Lina, I'm already addressing her. Yes. By saying that we need more women to take up those positions. I'm not advocating to become a minister or what, but even those ministers that we have, really they have performed. In the energy sector, that lady, she has really tried. Yes, she has tried. And therefore, for me, we shouldn't look at women as if they cannot really perform or kind of drivers of development. But let us look at how they've been doing work and performing. And that's why we are requesting that let women fill up positions, especially where they have very few women. They have showed us that they can perform, and we have seen it. Therefore, the committee that Zedrega is talking about, I wish Parliament could actually push for that one. Because when you look at women members of Parliament, for instance, they cover the whole entire district. By the way, they are coming like service members. Because everything, it is a woman member of Parliament. Remember, she traverses the whole district. Remember, there's those directly elected members of Parliament who just cover 4 sub-counties or 3 or 6. But the woman does it. That shows you that actually they are good performers. And at the end of the day, you are saying that why is it that what are those some of the challenges that affect women politicians? Now, the woman carries the entire district. At the end of the day, she doesn't even represent only women. She represents youth. She represents men, even those men that are women that are being represented by the directly elected members of Parliament. But still, the woman goes here. Whatever she does in this constituency, she has to offer it in the other constituency, in the third constituency, and therefore it becomes uncomparable. When they are measuring the performance, they don't look at this woman member of Parliament who is getting the same salary, who is facilitated in the same way by the other member of Parliament, and they expect you to perform in the same way. Remember, you are dividing yourself into so many things. And for me, that's why if government is not going to facilitate women members of Parliament better perform better, let's have 2 representatives per district. After all, many people have been saying that the Parliament is so good, it should be reduced, and they are paid whatever. Can we have a member of Parliament, a male member of Parliament representing the district, and a female member of Parliament representing the district, such that the views of women and men both come on the decision-making level, if we are to move like that. But otherwise, women are getting challenges, so many challenges, by the way. One, when a woman, now, because I think it is the other thing that we talked about of liberating ourselves from the that socialization process, which we are still being engulfed in, by the way, that we still have that thing of women and we're supposed to become leaders. That thing is still there.
Good things, man.
No, many people, by the way. That's why, if I decided right now to go and stand on the elected seat, they'll say, that is not your position. After that one is for men. You know that kind of stuff. Therefore, if affirmative action dropped right now, I don't think that we will get women in this. And yet we need them. We need the voices of women in Parliament. So, for us to overcome that, that is the liberation that we are talking about, the changing of the mindset, the economic empowerment, and everything. That's when we shall get up. Without all those, women will still, and I'm not saying that women only, but even men, they will continue. Because our country, the Ugandans, the way they think of politics, for them, it is the man who is supposed to be a leader, which I believe has been socialized in us as we are growing up. And that's why I applaud for the, by the way, because for has a mentoring program, the leadership, transformative and alternative leadership. And when we are talking about this leadership, by the way, many people rush to what? To politicians. Politicians don't implement government programs.
Yeah, let's talk about the wider society.
Yes, the wider society, that's what I wanted to bring out. We always rush to politicians. When we pass a budget here in Parliament, for instance, and we say, we want mattresses to go to our district hospitals and the health center first. Politicians stop there. Who procures? We need to look at that. Who distributes? Who implements all those programs? If they buy poor quality mattresses, would that be the role of the politician? If we say that, yes, we want to recruit more midwives and what, they go and we're supposed to be monitoring. Would that be the work of the politician? We are overstretching politicians, by the way, because we have different responsibilities, and that's why when I talk like that, don't say that now I'm talking about building the cadre. We need a cadre of good leaders who are going to transform this country from an alternative kind of leadership that we want. And who are these cadres? Those cadres that are patriotic. We need to have that love for, not this, I know you are looking at me, but we need...
I've never been building a t-shirt, so I can't claim.
No, it's not all about t-shirt. It's not all about... No. It's not all about singing what, but love for the country. Just that one. And by the way, this love for the country, when you talk about that, people will think about, it's going to Champazi, it's going to Chakamchaka, but that mindset of Ugandans and knowing that this is my country. Yes.
Lina, talk to us about the advantages of gender-based budgeting, the benefits of that. Can you try to explain what advantages do you budget with a woman in mind?
When you budget with a woman in mind, among others, the budget is going to be pro women. It is going to go into resource allocation to give service quality. Health centers are going to be, user-friendly. They will have at least the gloves. Women do not have to buy it when they're already too poor even to buy it. Okay? Education, the girls do not have to drop out because with the meager resources, it is preferred that a boy child in the community still would rather have the books than the girl child. So budgeting with that in mind is very, very critical, or what we call the gender budgeting, process. And for poor and equitable, not only the women, even persons with those that are disadvantaged, okay, persons with disabilities, among others that have been discriminated against by culture, tradition, and stuff. And also addresses the horizontal and vertical poverty. It is very, very critical too. It will adhere to participatory gender-sensitive planning, budgeting them when we, for example, we have to put, for example, a borehole. There's the government, there's money for a borehole. When it is having that gender mix, the budget will first, in the planning process, consult with the women, with the community. Not just come and put it a political distance and it is politically correct. It will be women-friendly, correct, in terms of distance, in terms of access, in terms of safety and security, in terms of, it takes all that into consideration.
Let's tell you, if you budget with a woman in mind, you benefit society more, because women, if it's health, women spend more time in the hospital, taking the children, look after the city,
Exactly.
If it's water, they spend more time.
Exactly.
If it's education,
yes,
more girls fall out of school.
And even the, yes,
and then even the sanitary facilities in the school are going to be girl child friendly. Okay? A lot of the reasons why girls drop out is because of that period and the stigmatization that goes around it. So the toilets are going to be girl child friendly. Okay? So that will really be able to encourage, many of the girls to stay in school. Yes, among other things. And
give you more information on that.
Yes.
When we were discussing the energy sector, members and even including some ministers of what is it that you are going to do in the energy sector with your gender-related issues? And they had forgotten that we are here struggling with
environment. You know what is causing all this environmental destruction and what? The chapel.
Talk about it.
Yes, exactly. And he's now passionate about it. But people put it
He
even
does not want to meet anyone who cuts down trees, not even Mabira.
so people were not even talking about energy saving stores, which would help the women to stop them from destructing forests. So when we are talking about that budgeting from a gender perspective, yes, people believe about those things. They just what is it?
And it was a woman that led the anti-Mabira campaign.
Exactly. And now everyone is cautious about the environment. And therefore, if you don't have that one in mind, it means that women will destruct the environment because we need firewood, they are the ones that need firewood, who can what, but people can't think of energy saving stores. And
what energy saving stores are coming? We're importing some from Europe, right?
Yes.
Some charcoal cigarettes that were coming in from Europe, some are coming from the US. We have to import some.
But we can as well make them from here.
No, well, us were busy making cousins. So let's talk about the marital divorce. What happened, Richard? Where can we go? How can we find it?
By the way, still on the paper, and recently even it has been on the schedule. You see, the marriage and divorce bill was misinterpreted by both men and women. We cannot totally blame it on how it was handled by family, even the public. The moment they heard of marriage and divorce bill, even religious leaders, it was like abominable. Talking about marriage, then divorce.
Even
and
the president did not like that.
But the president gets the feelers of the public, by the way. So
But he's also a man, you said.
the moment he gets the feelers from the public, he cannot divide from, we are the ones who brought this business of democratic governance, everything is democracy, even where it is not necessary. So the moment he hears feelers from the public, definitely he goes by what the public says. And so, the whole thing was misinterpreted. And yet, when you get into the communities, by the way, right now, the challenges, the problems that communities are getting were going to be solved by the marriage and divorce. And for us, let me tell you, and for us, we had thought that marriage and divorce bill, it was mainly the title, by the way, that confused people. And it was going to be debated, and the title would have been changed. But it was just to wash. Men were up in arms to say that, the issue of property, as if women don't have property. And people are now killing each other because people are not streamlining the issues of property. You've had examples here in Kampala as well as in the rural areas because of lack of clear streamlining the law that can address those challenges. And the marriage and divorce bill would have streamlined that thing. And that's why we are going to have these homicides, by the way, that are taking place in both in the countryside and even here in urban areas. In the city. Exactly. But for me, usually when I get those challenges, I tell people, this is what was going to help us. And they say, no, we didn't understand. So I think it was misunderstood, it was not properly disseminated very well, it was disseminated with the bias, and that's why people thought that it was going to destroy families, yet it was supposed to build the family.
Lina, what's a common person's perception down there in the village? Do you understand this?
With due respect, I still would like to build on the issue of the affirmative seats. And then I also would like to know what we are doing in place, because there is actually a coalition that is dealing with the marriage and the divorce. So I would like, with due respect, to say that in the interest of time, because there are actions being done, among others monitoring each time the position in parliament, there is a coalition that is really well placed to do that. So allow me to take on the affirmative seat, where we had a very big challenge in terms of the relevance of the affirmative seat to parliament and how we are planning to address this moving forward to 2016 elections. The Women's Democracy Network that, what is a member and actually spearheading a lot of the having read through, having appreciated the reality check report, that affirmative seat has widely been patronized, monetized, ring-fenced. Yes, these are real things, by the way. Rosemary, for example, Honorable, if she is preferred, widely it was throughout. We did a countrywide engagement with women. And they said, for us, I was not preferred. So and so was preferred. By men. It has been ring-fenced by men. Okay?
But they get up, woman.
Exactly, but by choice. So this woman has to pay allegiance to the, we call it godfathering. Godfathering. That is the report around it. The report, okay? But not addressing seriously the issue because of the bondage they are in. Okay? So what we are now saying is we are going to break the grass tree. We are going for main seats also, over and above. Because among other things, even they will say, Rosemary, please, don't run for the main seat. You already have a position. But it is done, they even use biblical terms. Like, you know, in my father's house, there are so many rooms. If it wasn't so, I would have told you. Meaning just do not go for the history, for the main seat. So we are now demystifying that and saying, no, women do not, go for, do not,
we've spoken
you break that.
About the political world. How about in the corporate world? This one about the government public offices. How about the corporate world? The MTV of this world today.
I think NTV in Uganda has NTV Sunday. We have still, we may have one isolated woman who is very lonely up there, okay? Very isolated up there, struggling to not only perform, but to excel, and she's self-checked.
And
You see? Yes!
and how many media houses?
Very lonely, being self-checked.
I know this one, but she's in the day-to-day business. She's not in the day-to-day business. And whatever decisions takes place here, she may be using New York or here, but not here.
So we are now saying that we need to mentor very aggressively. We need to break that glass ceiling. We need to break the ring fencing, and we are going mentoring women, inspiring women to run for all the seats.
From LC1.
Exactly.
On the Rosemary, I did the 145 contribution. The 145
Yeah, it has.
University.
Yeah, it has. And for me, I strongly support it. And when you look at the stroke of women in this country and those that are actually coming up, it is that one.
We're still in for another two.
Definitely.
As long as
not only as long as for as long as we are still until we bring our women at heart. When you look at the literacy levels by the men and women still, the women's literacy levels are still low. And therefore, in order to competitively engage in all these things that we are talking about, we still 1.5, and we shall continue supporting it and given that affirmative action. Because this is something that has brought women on board, and this is something that we should support in terms of even bringing the both genders across board. And let me tell you, Edmond, whether you do what or what, the moment you neglect one gender, this country cannot do it. Whether you say that let's do this and ignore the other gender, we confine
but
them.
you can't find. I mean, the people make this decision. They have to.
By the way, the Bahaya,
From the listeners in house. This is Spectrum Radio. Our number 031 260 031 261 031 260. Calling, tell us where you're calling from and you are on your radio. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, your name? Alright. Yes, your name? Hello. Yes, I can hear your name.
Yes, my name is Nyakikongoro.
Yes, sir.
I call from my village in Zedrega. Thank you for putting those ladies. I like the comment. I love the ladies said that we look at it inside the factor. I don't think the seat at the district level, but how to one representing men and another representing women. I think that is the most brilliant idea of having here. Number two, the issue I had the ladies again, I haven't complaining, but you see, women are not look at presidential, vice president, and all the positions they are under are those men. But our statistics that the ladies
for this country, I don't need someone to come from heaven. Not too late. They can even lead this country. The educational program they have, we only need to come out here and sell out. So, our MPs that we have in this country, they are all mediocre. And 70% actually, MPs is 70%, they are all mediocre MPs. They will never implement any government program. What they only know is tinkering around. See this, if we can have a Zedrega state at the district level, we have recruitment. Who knows what exactly is supposed to be done? We can have a good country to move on, and we don't need a president to go and open up a district.
Good evening, your name? Yes?
I'm calling from Toronto. Thank you. What we have need to do is first of reduce the size of Parliament. And the other thing that I also want to ask the ladies is
yes, your name?
Thank you for those ladies. My issue is about men are dying silent in the issue regarding domestic violence. Because even now when you go to a police station, even you will find those people on the side of the lady, even if she's the one who has caused the problem. 2, why don't we have maybe provincial woman MPs instead of more MPs and maybe male MPs? The third one is about why advocate for promotion of moral values, because I'm proud of our mothers in the villages who are still respecting and have decent ways of dressing in public. But look at our other issues, our fellow ladies now in public. Thank you.
Alright, I guess we'll get back here. The answer is Lina.
Yes, thank you so much, all the callers from Butaleja, Tororo, Kanyanya, my own road. You, Haigeni from Butaleja, you said, why don't you feel a woman?
And it could be either.
It could be either of us. I am humbled. I am encouraged. I am blessed. You have spoken this to the women of Uganda. And we are going to take this very, very seriously. We thank you. And we continue to engage, we continue to have conversations. And it should not only be, as we have said, about the numbers. It should be about people who will take the country inclusively forward. 2, why are we not coming out clearly to become leaders? I don't know what clear we need to do in order to become leaders. I do not know. I need to be guided. I think we have come out very, very clearly. Our contact is in Forwarden, in Tinder. We are engaging in terms of women and leadership, women in decision making. The language of the MPs being mediocre, as much as I respect your views, I believe it is not really blanket. You may have some very nasty, personal, nasty experience with, like some of us also have had. And that would be very, very unfortunate. I would like to personally encourage you that we come out of this, because we also need level head. We need to come out of our own bitterness. And it is good that you need to be able to develop a very progressive yardstick. Like we are saying, sometimes some people have the scorecards. For us, the women, we have the reality check. By the way, it's a report. So that whatever I am speaking, if it needs to be challenged, I will produce, and I have the book here. So that experience, we need really to find time so that you are able to come out of it, and then you are positive. It doesn't continue to eat you, and the MPs out there be able to, take your notice. And finally, promotion of moral values. It is very key, because a community without morals is a very dead community. It's a very, useless community. So I really support you from Kanyanya that yes, we continue to be our keepers in the community, so that we live by example, holistically, and we are really, really, really grateful.
Honorable Rose, Fred raised another point. Men die with silence. Sometimes they're hit on the head when they go to the station.
Yeah, thank you so much. Actually, I want to thank Fred for raising this issue because, like he has said, it's true, men suffer domestic violence, but they don't speak out. Like as I've always said, that the socialization process has really undermined men because they say, don't cry like a woman, don't do like this a woman, and at the end of the day, they just suffer silently. However, I don't think that actually those police officers blame the men. They need to listen to, both sides and come up with a solution. So if, you see, this is what we are talking about, gender responsive handling of cases. Maybe those policemen have been used to saying that women are the ones who are battered. Now they need to realize that actually equally men and women that are being battered. And this bill that people refuse was addressing those issues. Exactly. Men being thrown out of the houses, men being thrown out of their no support. Women at least have
women hiding their
exactly. And therefore, this is a time for men to come out and speak about those challenges so that they are taking the
Thank you.